you remember last time I said I was going to use some of our gluts. Now the gluts are not always stuff that you grow yourself, although I did say I was going to do a lime pickle, which is using the same recipe as you would use for the lemon pickle, and the lemons we have grown ourselves are still on the tree in the conservatory. So I'm going to start this lime pickle. I've got 10 limes here, put them in the sink, and because they're shop bought limes, they want a good wash, because in all probability there's wax on the outside, which I don't think we want to be eating wax. So I'm going to put, not washing up liquid, but a little bit of hand washing, give them a little scrub and a good rinse. So, you know, to really give these a scrub to get any wax off them. That's I'm using the hand wash because it's gentler than washing up liquid. There's no smell of the hand wash left on it. The thing to do after that is you put them in a steamer. Now there's various recipes around this. Some say you steam them, some say you boil them, some say you don't do it. You don't do either. The ones that say you don't do either, so you've got to leave them for weeks in salt and turmeric and vinegar, and keep them in the sun and shake them every day and turn them round. You know, it's a long involved process. I did try that once and it seemed overly complicated. So now I'm going to try this process where we steam them. I don't want to boil them because I think you might lose something into the water. Some of the recipes even say cut them up, put them in a bowl, put the bowl in the steamer and steam them. Again, I think you're going to get some form of dilution of the flavour and the lime, so this is the one I'm going to do. So I'm going to get this steaming, and then I'm going to sort out the spices required for it. So we'll just finish this washing, which, oh, I can smell his lime there, and we'll hopefully get a nice South Indian lime pickle that's fresh and fruity, not too heavy like a lot of the ones you get in the Indian restaurants. I still want some spice in it, so the recipes I'm using says 10 minutes, 12 minutes until the limes are soft. So we'll start off with 10 minutes or so, and we'll come back in a bit and see how that's doing. Right, while that's steaming, I can get on with preparing some of the herbs and spices. Now again, this is using some of our glut. This is part of our garlic glut that's left. Now, it says half a cup of sliced garlic. I really don't think I want half a cup of sliced garlic in it. I'm going to try it with a little less, because it's the first time. I could always do it again and add more. So we'll just prepare this garlic, slice it up and get it. We'll start getting our spices in these little stainless tubs so they can keep them all separate and use them sequentially. And give me a minute and I'll show you the garlic when we're done. Now, I will confess, this garlic's been in the fridge since last year. It's a little shrunken, but I've no doubt that'll be okay in a pickle because it'll just break down. It'll soften easier actually because it's softened a little bit. So I'll be picking the best out of this. We've made garlic pickle, we've got garlic in oil, and we've still got this left. And like all of us, we have another crop in the ground now, which you all know when that's going to when that's going to come up in a few months, don't we? So let's try and get something done with this. Right, the limes have cooked, they're cooling, and we're going to get on to some of the spicy bits now, preparing. The first thing you have to do is there are a number of spices here that you've got to do. Now, you get a couple of tablespoons of sesame oil. That should be a couple of tablespoons. We'll start to warm that up, not too hot. Then the first thing you put into that, which is to sputter, is mustard seeds. So there's a tablespoon of mustard seeds. I'm using yellow mustard seeds, and you'll know when they're done when they start to sputter. We also add, it says a sprig of curry leaves. Now, these frozen curry leaves, I don't know how big a sprig is, so it's 5 or 6. And then 2 chopped dried chilies. Now, like a lot of the other things here, these are part of the gluts from last year. If you remember me showing you on when I said I was going to do this, there they are. So they go in. We will use a wooden implement to stir them, and let's get them slowly sputtering. Now, to clarify a couple of things, I've used 10 limes. I've also, where it said use half a cup of garlic, I've used 10 cloves. Now, I don't know whether you can hear that. I can just hear the mustard seeds sputtering now. They're going to, yes, there they are, sputtering. Turn it down a little bit. But the next thing to do is add the garlic. Look, garlic you've got to be very careful with. It can burn quite easily, so I'm going to turn it quite low and cook that till it's a golden brown. So, if you excuse me, I'll turn that off for a minute while. Right, the garlic is now just starting to brown. I'm going to add a couple more ingredients now. First one, this is a mixture of 1/4 teaspoon of fenugreek powder, fenugreek, and a teaspoon of mustard seeds, coarsely ground. So we add those in. We then add a 1/4 teaspoon of fenugreek, which will give it that lovely yellow colour, and a 1/4 teaspoon of apodista, or hinge as they call it. Now, I found this one fairly hard to get hold of, so we'll leave that to cook for a minute. Right, that's simmered nicely, and what we're going to do is we're going to add some water in a minute. I think I didn't put quite enough turmeric in, so I've added a little bit more, because you're certainly going to want the colour from the turmeric. So we just cook that in, because you always want your spices to be cooked through. Yeah, and it says it should be a darker red. It's not as reddish as you would think, but you can see it's taking a darker colour on. So what we do now is we add this half cup of water and cook that up. Simmer that up now. So we'll get that cooking. Right, people, here we are now, bubbling away, and here we have the limes with the juice involved, so it's nice and juicy. we add that in now at this point in time. Get that in and get that cooking. We also add recipe calls for 100 grams of salt. I put a little less in, I can always add more later because I don't want to put too much in. Get that stirred in. We'll cook this. There's also a little sugar to be added here, and there's a tablespoon of sugar to go in there, which again I'll not put the full tablespoon in until I've tasted it. I'll put half a tablespoon in, and once I've tasted it at the end I might adjust that, but there we are, a nice lime pickle, hopefully, and which we'll find out when we try it. Let me just get it to simmer properly. Simmer this for 5 or 10 minutes until the limes are tender. Now the limes, I found it quite easy once I cut them in half to use the kitchen scissors to cut them. And I cut them into 8 and then I cut those pieces in half again, and still fairly chunky pieces, as you can see from that. We've got this nice sauce there. I haven't forgot something. There's supposed to be a little bit of chilli powder in. I'll add that when I go away, when I dig it out. I think it's a 1/4 teaspoon of chilli powder, although there's 2 chilies in there. Now that might be not particularly hot, so it definitely needs the chilli powder now. So I'll leave that cooking and I'll go and put the chilli powder in, and then we'll come back when it's time to put it into jars, etc., and leave it to see how it goes. Hi everybody, I've just made a mistake and thought I'd spoke to you for a few minutes and while I've put this lime pickle in a jar, and it didn't get it on the camera, so I've got to do it the other way. Now, lime pickle in a jar, it's, as you can see, it's there, it's got spices in it, it's got some sauce with it which is reasonably thick. Now, 10 limes, and I've got 2 jars. The jars, I put about 1/2 inch of water in, put them in the microwave, and put them on until the water's boiling. It's really sterilise the jars. Quick and easy method to sterilise the jars. Please excuse me coughing, but I seem to have a cough this week. But the other thing I do is, just a little tip, it works for me, might not work for anybody else. I get a sandwich bag or a piece of cling film and put it over the top when I seal it, because it keeps the acidic or the salty nature of this stuff away from the lid, because I've had lids that have been rotted through with it. You come to use something and you find the lid's got a hole in it because the vinegar or the salt has rotted it. So as you can see, there we are, lime pickle. Hopefully it'll work out well. It tastes quite salty at the moment, but I believe this is normal and you have to let the salt percolate through the limes. They recommend you put it somewhere on a windowsill in the sun for several days. Turn it over, shake it up and down a few times to aid in the maturation of the flavour. And then you store it in the fridge or a cool dry place. People say that it will keep for up to a year in a fridge. So maybe in a few days, a week, I'll come back on and I'll be eating this with some pompadons to show you what it's like. Hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it's useful for you. And I hope it tastes alright. I'll give you feedback on that later. Bye everybody.